Alright YouTube, it's time for another garden update because these two beds have been rebordered and they are looking fine compared to how they were looking before. I've decided to just go with a single layer of brick, standing it up on it'll raise it up far enough. I've still got to go through there and remove any weeds. All these perennials here are getting transplanted or destroyed. Same with the irises there. And this dirt here, almost exactly, is really going to be where the path is going to go. This lilac will be, I'll probably shave a couple of the branches off of it. It'll go a little bit further here. You can see it doesn't quite line up. And then starting right at this post, that's where this bed is going to be. And there will be a gap of about 2.5 feet there. And so that bed will be almost a yard wide, or about a yard wide, and it'll go all the way down. I could theoretically connect it to the fence here because I'd still be able to access the other side, but I really want to be able to get all the way around every bed. So what I did is I redug all of this, got it all out. I made sure to make it straighter this time too. You can see I used that board over there in order to line up the bricks. There's still a little bit of bend over there. I had to go around the lilacs. It's provisional. I'm going to be moving it over roughly 2 inches, but it's nice and even. This is nice and even. And because it's been redug, all those witchgrass roots and so forth are gone. I'm going to be expanding this out actually a little bit. Again, that's provisional. That's to keep it from, eroding overnight or anything. We just had quite a bit of rain, thankfully. We've gone 2 weeks without any. I am going to bring it out, I think, about a foot this way. And that way, this bed, with all that extra brick, I'm going to be completing this as well. It's going to go all the way to about 2.5 feet from the fence. And it's also going to be about a yard wide. So there'll be another path here. And that garden will probably be a flower garden. I may end up moving this clump of irises chopped up into, 4 or 5 sections over there along with the lilies, because I do want to have one area for flowers inside of the garden. But these irises here, the roots on these things are so massive and woody it's almost difficult to chop it apart with the shovel. There was actually a dent left on the tip of the shovel. You can probably see it here. There are a few dents there from those roots, and I'm not kidding. That's how hard they are. That soil there is nice and freshly dug. The stuff in the middle I had to actually walk in there in order to make these bricks line up. But that's all perfect. That's all done. You can see one brick decided to tip over already. Some of these they have to be kind of smushed in there, and you just drag some soil in to fortify it a bit. But those two beds are basically done. So that's way ahead of schedule there. This, I still have to fill in these like cracks and holes, or at least sort of go through there and rake it all up. And in here, I transplanted the columbine, and it hasn't wilted at all, so it should be fine. I put in a couple more of those irises on the end here, and then a catnip plant. What I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to put any rhubarb in here. I'm going to have a patch of horseradish, yes, but I think the rest, I'll put a couple more clumps of irises and lilies in with some catnip, and make it another, just a flower garden, not the rhubarb. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rhubarb yet, honestly. This all has to rot down, but I tilled it up today, freshly. I completed, again, provisionally, this corner, and I'm stepping on a berry bush. That hurts a little bit. But you can see it just sort of bends around, and it's going to be sort of a circle. That's all going to be brick as well, by the way. And then I'll raise it up a second level, and some of that compost, when it's done, I'm just going to sort of put it in there. I might have a patch of ferns. I haven't really decided yet what to put in there, but this bed is, pretty nice, and it's almost, complete, basically. I still got to level it off a little bit at the bottom. That's about all. Put in some more perennials. That down there gets the pea stones. There's still one more step to be put in, and then that'll be done. And then once this dirt's cleared in, and once all this stuff is sort of taken care of, most of the changes to the garden, other than actually erecting the fence, will have already been done. I didn't expect to get both of these beds done today. Probably tomorrow I'll get this bed done. Again, I'll probably shorten this up. I could keep it where it is, but I don't really want to. I want to have the end even with these. You can see that's not completely straight. A little bit bowed out there. That's okay. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I like some unevenness in my garden. Just adds to the sort of cottage garden appeal. But this will, again, from roughly about here-ish to actually about there will be the bed, all the way down, as wide as it'll be. And again, it'll actually be a little bit further in to line up with the bricks there. I do want that line to be straight because that gives me about 3 feet on the outside of the fence. More than enough room to maneuver the lawnmower. You need a little bit more space. It can't be right up against the fence and the bricks, otherwise things get knocked loose. And then I'll probably have enough extra bricks to complete these beds, you know, shorten them up and make the 2 extras that I wanted to make with a double layer of brick potentially. And then I might still have some stuff left over. There's some rock too, that's going to go in the back garden. And I'm going to have a catnip garden too at some point. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I see things aren't quite completely planned. They're more or less laid out, they're more or less planned, but they're not absolutely complete quite yet. You can see, of course, the fence posts are not quite even. I still have to do that with a literal string. I just put it up basically showing where the garden will be at this point. The front is properly measured though, that is straight, so I was able to redig these. And then this one as well, of course, has to be completely moved. Nothing here will actually be garden. It'll actually almost literally be there, which means I have to dig up that compacted soil. I have to take all this soil and put it back on, weed everything out. I have to cut down all the Nicotiana. But I am going to wait about a week, I think, if I can help it, because I want the Nicotiana to keep blossoming, and I also want the seeds. And also, if those seeds scatter all in that dirt and then I put it over, it's going to be a big problem. I'd rather put them in a bag, get most of them up, and hope for the best as far as weed removal capabilities go. But yeah, things are looking a lot better. And there were some, you know, some buzzy bees around here on some of the flowers. They're probably mad that I removed the catnip, but there's a whole bunch of other catnip plants around, as well as the Nicotiana and the sunflowers, so they're not hurting for certain quite yet. And you know, the year's winding down, even though it's still, the temperatures dropped 10 degrees and it's still slightly warmer than average right now. And it looks like it's going to stay that way for another couple of weeks. This is a very abnormally warm September, just as we had a very abnormally warm late August. So a lot less rain than normal, a lot warmer. If this continues through the beginning of winter, I will be very, very happy, because we might not see a frost till October. You know, it might be Halloween before we get a frost, who knows, but I'm very happy about this. It's looking much better, and once those bricks are sort of used for the expansion there and tossed over to the side, I have to remow everything before I put the fence up. But yeah, other than removing this little patch of perennials and like the giant iris and so forth, this bed and that bed are pretty much done. That's about all.